Hello, I'm Kristen. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Um, Today I want to talk about children. We all know that children are a perfect gift from God, and we were once children who grew up into adults now. But what exactly does it mean to grow up as a child who has been traumatized? Some can be molested. Like there's a lot of things that happens out there in some children. Yes, some are lucky. They grew up with all their parents together. Some may have not grown up with their parents together, but they got these people with golden hearts that really made them feel the love, and they did not feel the lack of not having anyone in their lives. So they grew up loved, cared for, and always taught how to live life, not in a hard way, but in a way that every child has to understand. Now, what happens is children often receive traumatic events in different ways to an adult does. From sudden death, temporary shutdowns, and many other things. And children who lack previous experiences with traumatic events will also find it difficult to know how to verbally communicate fully well to either their needs or the questions that they have. Um, so basically, me, those are some of the things I struggle with as an adult. I struggle with expressing myself. I struggle with when there is some kind of misunderstanding somewhere, either at the places of work or with something. If someone, for example, there's something going on and maybe someone comes up that, or trying to accuse me of something, and then when I try to explain myself, and then someone comes like trying to rubbish me up or do what, I freeze and like I I lose words and I cannot say anything anymore. Like I get freaked out, and all what comes in my mind is the so many stuff that I had when I was growing up, and it rings in my ears like so much that at one point I remember very well when I was at work, at my former workplace, and something happened. There was a lot that was being said and spoken. I became so aggressive and I banged the table so heavily for my boss. That is not what I do. It's not. But some things just came up, and I was feeling like used, taken advantage of, like everyone else just, that's how they look at me. Those are the things that came my mind. I got so stressed. I felt so bad. And these are things that will happen to us when we're still children. And when we grow up, they come up. Sometimes they literally follow us up. And that's not what we need for the young generation. It's not what we need for our children. So if you have such children with you, I advise you to be patient with them. Be patient with them and keep reminding them how important they are and how they have to live a life full of fulfillment. Remind them how they are loved. Sometimes it's what they need. If you have had any of these experiences and you're strong or weak or struggling with any of this right now, try to allow yourself to grieve afresh. It doesn't matter how old you are. Accept it, that it happened and there is nothing you can do about it. That is your story. That is who you are. That is what happened. But it's not who you are today. It is not what you are. It's not what you're going to be tomorrow. Events that happened were there to mold you and to make you strong. Learn to express yourself. It helps. Sometimes when situations become tough at me, if I don't have a friend to rant at, I rant at myself. If I cannot do that and it's too much, I get a piece of paper. Here's my pen. I get a piece of paper in the book. I write everything down. If I write everything down and I feel that my heart is, the heaviness in my heart is now eased, I am eased. If I have to cry, you have to cry. Just grieve it out and let it go. You'll feel fresh and your life will begin afresh again. This can possibly help you. And if you have any children under your care, please, to avoid raising a generation that only knows pain, that only knows sadness, that only knows that the world is full of selfish people, that the world is full of heartless people. Help them grow with love, care, and words of affirmation, that they should understand that this world may be full of all the evil things, but it's beautiful. It takes someone who has gone through a lot during childhood and growing up as an adult. It takes them a lot of time to adjust. Believe me in this. It takes them a lot of time to adjust. Life is life, and that is what it is. We can't explain it. We cannot. Sometimes we just have to grow, because growth is inevitable. And some pass out early. Some pass on a later age, some in the middle age. Like, some suffer out of their own working, out of their own making, but some because they cannot control it, especially if you're a child. You cannot control things that happen around you. That's why you find some people ending up to the streets. Like, I wanted to do it someday, and I ended up to be in the street for one day, and somehow I got back home. It because at one point in life, when you're a child and you're going through a lot, you feel like out there in the streets is the best place for you. That is why some are there. Some, it could be their own making. Some are homeless. Some are being used by the heartless people to make a living. But not all. Some have no choice. They find themselves there because they can't handle what is happening to them. being grateful to those people who have children who are probably not theirs, who are probably orphaned, but they're taking good care of them. You're doing a tremendous job. Those children will grow up forever grateful. But giving a better life is good. Giving, it involves education, good morals. It involves a lot of things. That's what's called a better life to children. Because there is nothing you can ever do to someone whom you're taking care of, who actually see you as the only person they have in their lives. There is nothing you can do to them apart from showing them how much you love and care for them. They will be forever grateful. Thank you very much for listening to me. I wish you a blessed everything. For any questions, for any queries, for anything that you want to know, just put it in the comment there. I'll get you and we will talk. And I'll make you understand that no matter what we go through in life, still, I tell you that there is always a blooming or a blossom somewhere if we stick in there. But I cannot also fail to remind you that if you grow up traumatized, or if you have someone you're traumatizing out there, it is hard for them to outgrow it. And even if they try to outgrow it, it always comes back. It is like a scar which is deep inside the heart, the scar that cannot be seen. The scar that heals, though it's like a wound that heals and the scar remains there. That is how it is. We continue seeing the people who put the scars, those who made those wounds to be there, and they heal. And we are always grateful for those people who come in our lives to help us to be better, to get through life, to be what we want to be. But those scars remain and they stay. So do not be the story of someone's pain. Be a story of someone's growth, progress, and happiness. Thank you very much for watching me. Have a very lovely time. See you again next time for yet another thing.